Why is that not working for me then? I think we're getting it. There we go. How is it going, everyone? Welcome to the League of Europe. We are here for the Monaco Grand Prix. I do apologise a little bit about the late start. It's just I've had a few issues just with Streamlabs and YouTube, just YouTube being YouTube, basically. Before I get into it, I do want to go through the hot lap of the of Monaco, and also before I also start that, big thank you to Mr. Wooter for the graphics for the Monaco Grand Prix. He's got the thumbnails for Division 1, 2, and 3, so big shout out to him, who's actually in the D3 race as well. As said, before I get into it, I am just going to take you through a hot lap of Monaco, and it is done by Mr. QVR Campbell. Now, he has done a 108.4 something, I believe, for this. Coming up towards turn 1, getting straight down into third gear, short shifting up into fourth. Making sure he goes through that corner ever so nicely, avoiding the outside wall, coming through the beginning of the casino, making sure he goes out as wide as he possibly can to get the turn in for that right-hand turn. Now, coming up towards the end of Sector 1, making sure you get that braking down into first gear. Now, the tight and twisty hairpin, one that catches a lot of people out. Very difficult, if I do say so myself. Now coming up towards the tunnel, short shifting up from third into fourth to fifth. Going through the tunnel now. Braking for the new chicane at around sort of the 100-meter board, down into second, shifting, short shifting into first, and then short shift back up into about third, maybe even fourth gear. Now coming up to the swimming pool section, again, one that can catch a lot of drivers out. You want to try and avoid the outside curb. Going through the next swimmer chicane as well is just a bit difficult. Now coming through Raskas, the final corner, short shifting up into third and crossing the line. As I said, Campbell had done a 1 minute 8.4. So that is the hot lap of the circuit. And I actually haven't seen what qualifying is looking like so far. As I said, we started a little bit late, so this is how qualifying is looking. Mr. Wooter so far is on pole. As I said, this is the first time I'm also seeing it as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to come out on top of this. Because it can be anyone's, to be quite frankly honest. As I said, Mr. Wooter so far is in first. Oh yeah, and also forgot to mention, for all 3 division races, it's going to be nighttime. So it makes that just a little bit more interesting. You know, not going to be as high tire temps, but I mean, you can't deny it. Monaco it just looks lovely in the night. I mean, just look at this. If I go on to who's out at the moment, the Toro Rosso, does that not just look much more aesthetically pleasing? I mean, look at that. It just looks so much better. But that was heated also. Uh, I mean, to be fair, like the strategy around Monaco as well, you can do what, softer medium, maybe softer hard if you end up getting like a bit of a broken wing a little bit earlier. So I said it's going to be interesting. A lot of people always saying, "Oh, Monaco's a wheel track," which, to be quite frankly honest, it is. But I've seen quite a few people do well with pads around here, so it can be anyone's game. As I said, Mr. Wooter is the one that's currently on pole. In fact, what are the quickest that people have done their times on? So Adries has done a 10.7 on the mediums, who's only, well, just under a tenth, over a tenth, sorry, behind Nico. With Big W also in fifth, doing a 111.4 on the mediums. Ryan's just, I think, done his lap. No, sorry, that was his best lap. So his best lap was on the mediums, and he's going again for another medium. And already seeing quite a lot of people in the chat. Let's just go through that real quick. We've got Tand, RJ, Ibo, Old School, V5, James, Lewis. How's it going, everybody? James saying this is painful not being able to set a lap. Oh yeah, he's got a quali ban. So yes, that's also what I forgot to mention. James has got a quali ban. because of continuous sort of like internet issues. Hopefully, that has all been cleared up, and he shouldn't have any more of those issues. Hopefully, because I know he did say he got new internet last week, so we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. But I'm going to go on board with the Banana Cart of Adri, who's been looking like he's in really good form lately, I must admit. If he had started off as hot as he was now, he would definitely be either a contender slash leading the championship. But Adri now coming up towards the line. Is he going to do better than Mr. Wuto? He does. He does a 109.8. That is a good lap from the Spaniard in the Renault. Good job from him. What about Big W? Because I know he's on a lap at the moment. He's only just got on his Fanatec wheel, ironically, so I don't know if he's actually racing on that now or if he's using his pad. Ghost has done a 112.1. I did see him just improve on that, so nicely done from Ghost. I don't know if he's actually still going. His ERS is still in 5. Oh, never mind, it's down to 0. Never mind about that. Yeah, we'll keep on board with Big W. I'm going to go sign up for a little bit because I have got my food next to me because I haven't eaten all day. So we'll just take on board how nice Monaco is looking in the dark whilst Big W comes up towards the line. Did I not include the game sound? Oops. Yeah, my bad. You guys should have game sound by now, right now. Apologies about that one. Thank you for that, McDutch face. Oh, 480p, man. Oh, what is going on with this stream? I don't understand. So you guys can only get 480p, and that's it, maximum. I know. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry. 480 isn't too bad. Yeah, maximum. Okay. What I'll do is then, after qualifying, I'll restart the stream because then it should improve on the quality for it. So we got like one sort of separate for quality and one for the race. If that's what everyone would want, it's completely up to you. So you can get a more of a higher quality F1, or if you're happy with it, we'll just carry on as it is. It's entirely up to everyone in the stream. Because I know 480p can hurt some people's eyes. Worst commentator ever. We want the Welsh-American duo. Eh. Got James cheering on for Nico. I did not catch that. Mr. Rooter goes on pole, just beating out Adri's time by just less than a tenth. So good going from Mr. Rooter. He's actually been doing pretty well as well as of late. You know, being promoted into a full-time spot in the Mercedes, replacing Jabo. And as I said, he's been doing quite well. Mr. Rooter is definitely a bit of a dark horse within this. He's, you know, it's still quite early in the championship yet, so he's definitely one to be looking out for coming in towards the later stages of the championship, I must admit. Also, along with Adri, because James, as said, he's got a qualifying ban, it is going to help the likes of Mr. Wu, Adri, and Nico massively, and Big W. And Heated, actually, because Heated is the one that's, I think, 3rd or 4th in the championship. So, good going from him. I'm in Africa, so good with anything. Okay, fair enough. It's not too bad. Okay. We'll keep it as is then. We'll just run it through quality and racing just like this. And I'll make sure next stream that I'll get this all up to date and all perfectly fine for you guys. Sorry about all this. I don't understand why it's doing it. But, well, I do get why it's doing it, but these things happen. Who else have we got out on a lap at the moment? We've got a Letty. He's done pretty well so far as well. I think he may have invalidated his lap, so I think he's just getting ready to go for another lap on the softs. So I'll let you guys enjoy a Letty going around the track of Monaco. Never mind, it doesn't look like he's carrying on with his lap. Who else have we got that we can gomble with? Ghost, maybe? Ghost does look like he's on a bit of a quicker lap. He's currently 3/10 down on his time, actually, so this could put him ahead of Ryan B. And actually, whilst Ghost is just doing this, let me have a quick check as to what the leaderboard is looking like. Sorry, the constructors' standings is looking like at the moment. If you guys also want to go check it out yourselves, make sure you go to f1leagueofeurope.wordpress.com. Website has just been updated. I couldn't see if Ghost was still up on his time or not, but I'm assuming he is. Big W just in front of him. Doesn't look like he has blocked him or anything, so that's good to see. Is Ghost going to improve on his time? He does. He does a 111.1, so it's in P6 as of right now. So good going from the beast from, I was going to say the east, but it doesn't work because he's from America. The beast from the west, why not? As there's a lot of wing damage that has just come off of that, and Adri has just gone on pole with a 109.5. What a lap from the Spaniard. That's a very good lap. But let's have a look. Okay, we've got it up here. So, constructors. Oh no, we haven't got the. Oh yeah, we have. So the Haas are still leading the way at the moment. They are on 118 points, and they're only 8 points ahead of the Renault. I have accidentally pressed my PlayStation button, so I do apologise. I really do feel like I'm the worst commentator at the moment. As said, Renault are the ones that are in second place, so that they're catching up to the Haas pretty quick. Toro Rosso are in third. They are on 97 points, and very close behind are the Red Bulls, 1 point behind them. So I think Toro Rosso actually overtook them last time around, if I'm not mistaken, because I know actually no. Nico didn't do too well, same with Ivan and Mike. Who was in the other Toro Rosso last weekend? It was Heated. I can't remember who was in the other one. Say it here. It was Frey. Frey did get some points for Toro Rosso, so he done a good job. Adri's actually retired from the session. Oh yeah, because we're at the end of quali. Mr. Wooters trying to see if he can end up beating Mr. Adri Lockdock's time. He is coming around the final corner. Will he best that time? Nico and Heated have not been able to. Is Mr. Wooter going to be able to? No, he does not. He goes 3/10 slower. The only ones that we've really got left is Dave and Ryan B. And Dave doesn't look like he will. What about Ryan B? He goes into the pits. So it is just left on the man in the Haas, and he is slowing down pretty quickly. So I think that is it for quali. Adri is the one that is starting on pole position with Mr. Wooter just next to him. And Nico in third with Heated in fourth. Big W in fifth. Ghost, I think that's his highest qualifying position so far in P6. So nicely done for him. Aledi down in seventh with Kursk in eighth. Dave in ninth. Ryan B rounding out the top 10. The guys that get their free choice attire is Smitsky, Ivo, Car Cannon, and James. MCR and Ivory Mike I also noticed had just joined the session, so I can also hit MCR in game. Nice. So there you go, there's the full qualifying results. As I said, Adri in first with Mr. Witter in second, Nico in third, Heated in fourth, Big W in fifth with Ghost in sixth, Lady seventh, Wakerski in eighth, David in ninth, Ryan in 10th, Smitsky 11th, Ibo 12th, Carl Cannon in 13th, James, who hasn't managed to set a time because he was qualifying, man in 14th, and I think it's going to go either Mike and MCR in 15th and 16th. So good qualifying for Adri, Mr. Nico, even Ghost as well. I think that's his best qualifying that he's gotten so far. So good job to him. And whilst we just wait for the drivers to get all of their strategies done, as I said, it is midnight at Monaco, so I'm looking forward to the lead up to turn one. Brutal place for a default setup. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. And it's not actually too bad. It depends what default setup you've got on. But then again, it would just have Park Ferme, so. Let's see, what these guys outside top 10 gone on? Because if I were them, I would have gone straight on the hards. Taken them as far as they can go, because then you're blocking up everybody else that's behind you that's going to try and come and overtake you. And then you've got the advantage on the softs and you can just steam through. But let's have a look. Smitsky's gone on the mediums, the same with Car Cannon, James and Ivory Mike, and MCR and Ibo are the only two outside the top 10 that have gone for the softs. Interesting. So as the drivers come up towards the line now, I'm actually looking to see what Mr. Woot was going to do when he's alongside with Adri coming up towards turn one. Because he's on the outside. The guy on pole obviously gets the inside line for turn one. So it's interesting to see who's going to end up coming out on top of, well, when they're coming out of turn one. Will Mr. Woot get a better start of what Adri will? Could Nico even play a part, even Heated as well? We'll see. We'll see. Here we go, the 5 red lights. And it is away we go. It looks like Adri got a blistering start from that as well. And it looks like Big W is trying to go down the inside. Not able to do so. Heated lost out a place to Big W. Ghost, I don't know what's happening to him. He's still down in 6th at the moment. Wakerski has managed to get past the Letty. With Ryan B also getting past Dave. Ivo has managed to make his way up into 11th place. So good job from him in the Williams. We've got a lot of these cars all still really close together. But Adri has already made a quick getaway. Nico's actually managed to pass Mr. Witter as well for P2. And look at that, that gap is already building up pretty quick from the Renault driver. It looks like Dave wasn't expecting Ryan to brake as early. And looks like they're trying to go too wide into the hairpin. Who was that? Was that Smitsky and MCR? I think it was. Smitsky's lost out about 3 places from the start. Unlucky for him. James has even lost out a place from MCR at the beginning. And Ivory Mike has also lost out a place. So MCR's already built up 3 places. And he wants to try and increase that even more. Now coming up towards the Nouvelle chicane. Everyone, I think, has still got their front wings intact at the moment, but that will probably change soon. But Adri, as I said, he's already made a quick getaway from P2, which is Nico. Almost already, in fact, it might even be a second. because for some unknown reason it's just a little bit glitched still saying what people have done so far. Let's have a look. Yeah, already a second away from P2. Mr. Wooter's just hanging on behind Nico with Big W, who's already starting to lose that a little bit from Mr. Wooter as well. Remember, Big W is the one on the pad. So he is probably going to be a little bit annoyed. Goes very wide coming out of Casino though. Not something you'd want to do. And you've got Recurse all up the back of Ghost. As I said, this is Ghost is best qualifying so far. Has managed to retain that P6 as of now. And I know Wakurska's not been having that much luck lately, so he is going to want to try and redeem himself to try and be up towards maybe even where his teammate is at the moment. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of a battle going on between Heated and Big W. These two still real close together on track for the Nouvelle Chicane. Heated has broke very late, has spun Big W. Oh my god, that was not good from Heated. He wasn't expecting Big W to break so early, I don't think, and that's just sent Big W round. And that's now demoted him down into P7. I am going to expect a student's inquiry at the end of the race. Meanwhile, Mr. Wooter has already pulled out that... Well, sorry, Nico's already pulled out a second gap from Mr. Wooter. And looks like he's closing in on Adri just maybe a little bit. He is the one that has set the fastest lap so far. So nicely done to him. I think it has got wing damage. I can't see any though. He did look like he did shunt him quite hard though. So it's quite surprising to see Heated with no wing damage. But Ryan is all up the back of him. In fact, there's an even closer one just behind the James and Smitsky. James is wanting to get past this Renault ASAP. And I don't think Smitsky's going to allow him. You know, his teammate is the one that's also battling for this championship. I think he's just going to want to keep him behind at the moment. They're both on the medium tyres as well. So we'll see how that gets along. Also just up ahead as well, they're all coming into a little bit of a train. Car Cannon is the one leading this train. Holding up, funny enough, MCR, James, Ivan Mike and Smitsky. You know, all of these guys, well, all these guys battling for a bit of the title. And James and Smitsky trying to go side by side in the Nouvelle Chicane. Smitsky's just giving him a bit of a squeeze, and that's had to make James back out of that a bit. That was a little bit naughty from the Renault, but nonetheless, he's still up ahead. It was a bit naughty. I don't know how I feel about that one, but he is the one that is still out ahead. For MCR, doesn't look like he can get past Car Cannon as of yet. Maybe going up in towards turn 1, he's going to have an opportunity to do so. But I don't think Car Cannon is going to want to give this one up lightly. So here we go. MCR, will he go for a move down in towards turn 1? No, he does not. He does get himself a 3-second time penalty though for having multiple warnings. Meanwhile, still up the back, as you have just seen in the camera, is still this battle between Smitsky and James. James has managed to close that gap up once again, and MCR is wanting to get past Car Cannon ASAP. You know, Car Cannon being on the medium compounded tyre with MCR being on the softs. This is for the final point of the race. I know it is only lap 4, but Car Cannon is doing his best to hold these guys up, and this is benefiting Adri massively. Especially if these guys can't get past Car Cannon. But just a little bit in the background, you have got this battle still. James trying to go around and do the same thing to Smitsky in the Nouvelle Chicane, not able to do so, and he's going to try and go for a switchback, and that is not been able to happen. Smitsky is still holding this P14 as of now. So good driving from the Renault driver on holding James back. And I haven't seen any lag issues from James yet, so I think his internet has been sorted out. But this battle was really close. I don't want to take my eyes away from this. James has just mounted the curb a little bit, and I hope he hasn't lost any of his wing from that, because I know you can lose a bit of wing. And MCR and Car Cannon have actually... Oh no, sorry, Ibo's dropped down to 13th. Has Ibo lost any wing? I get the feeling Ibo's lost a little bit of wing. But this is now going to hold Smitsky up. Yeah, he's had to back off majorly. Ibo's letting him go through, but... Where's James? James has spun. I think James didn't realise that Smitsky was going to brake so late because of Ibo. And he's now lost half of his wing. So James is going to need to kind of get that one changed. And I know he is not going to be happy with that whatsoever. But MCR now up into 12th, getting himself a point. And he's actually dropped back quite a bit from Car Cannon. Meanwhile, up ahead, we have this battle for P7 actually. Big W, Aledi and Ryan B all really close together going through the swimming pool chicane. And even Wakurskis is in this. Big W is wanting to get past Wakursk ASAP. And in fact he does, because Wakursk goes straight into the pits. I think he's going to get a wing changed and go straight onto the hards for the rest of the race. So we'll keep an eye on Wakursk as this race pans out. But Aledi is still behind Big W, wanting to get past him ASAP. And they're going to try and go too wide. No, they're not going to be able to do so leading up towards Casino. Big W is just going to retain that P6 as of now. Ryan B also just behind him. I don't know if he's going to want to try and get past. No. I think he's just going to stay behind for now. But Dave also in this battle for P9. I think all of this is going to allow Car Cannon to try and catch up just a little bit to these guys. He's only 2.5 seconds behind, but with all this battling going on, it's benefiting him massively. Ghost has actually managed to move himself up into P5 because of that spin that happened with Big W and Heated. I said, I feel like there'll probably be a little bit of a steward's inquiry after the race. And in fact, these two just behind. And Ibo, is he in the wall? No, he hasn't got any wing missing. Huh. He might have let James go, I'm not too sure. But this nice helicopter shot. Ryan and Dave. Dave was actually all over the back of Ryan. And hasn't actually gotten past, so bit of an odd one. I saw him all over the back and now he's just already about a second behind. Strange. But yeah, Ghost leading this little train for P5 between him, Big W and Aledi. Big W only 6 tenths behind the Williams driver. Ghost is actually doing a pretty good job so far. He is already behind Heated by 11 seconds, and Adri is just doing what he's doing best up in first at the moment. Ivory might make his way into the pits, and Wakurski has actually jumped him in the pits. Will James be able to get past him? Because he's actually already pit as well and gone on the set of the mediums, not the hards. So James is looking to do a 2-stop to the end of this race. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But we've got this battle as well. Car Cannon and MCR and Smitsky. Smitsky's managed to catch up to the back of these two. MCR still hasn't managed to find his way past the Toro Rosso driver. So unfortunate for him. He is just going to have to stay behind him. And it is all allowing Smitsky to catch up. Smitsky does get past. Again, it's going to help Adri massively, because then I think is he past MCR already in the standings? I could be wrong. No, he's not. So this is benefiting Adri massively. If this sort of stays how it is, Adri does go into second in the championship. In fact, he goes into first in the championship, so he will overtake James. If this result stays how it is, MCR look to try and go around the outside, not able to do so. It's given Car Cannon a 3-second time penalty. I know he won't be happy about that, but MCR has also got a 3-second time penalty behind him. MCR is trying to go out wide, going in towards Casino, and this is all allowing Smitsky to just stay on the back of these two. Is MCR going to try and go for a move? Down towards the hairpin. No, he will not, so he's going to have to stay behind the Toro Rosso driver up until maybe towards the end of the tunnel section. Aledi picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so this is going to help Big W quite a bit as well. Both McLarens, well, Big W was having a good race up until he ended up hitting him in the back, but he is still down in 6, so it's not too bad for the McLaren driver. And he's just going to have to stay behind Car Cannon once again. So Car Cannon's still ahead of MCR. I said all of this is helping him, helping Adri out massively, and also helping out Smitsky to see if he can get past MCR. Thought MCR was going to try and see if he can go around to the outside of Car Cannon through Raskas. In fact, Car Cannon does come into the pits. I do see a bit of wing damage at the front of his car, so he's going to look to see if he can maybe put on the hards towards the end, if I'm not mistaken. No, he goes on the mediums. Actually, I suppose you can take the mediums to the end, as if it's right now, you can take them to the end. It's just a little bit of managing, but it is definitely doable. What's the closest battle on track? Is it this one? I think it is. Big W and Ghost Recon. This is for P5. Ghost still just maintaining that 5th position at the moment, but Big W is wanting to get past Ghost pretty quickly, because he has got Aledi just behind, well, 1.8 seconds behind him, and I don't think he wants to keep that anymore. I think he just wants to try and get ahead and get away. As Nico pops himself into the pits. Does he get a wing change? No, he doesn't. So he puts on the hards. Has a very slow pit exit. This is a strange one. So, Nico down in 4th. Is Ghost got past him? No, he hasn't. So Ghost's still in 5th, but he is going to be a lot closer to Nico now. In fact, whereabouts is Ghost? It's just come through turn 1. Yeah, so Nico managed to get out ahead of the guys from 5th downwards. So, good job to him. Be interesting to see where Heat comes out, though. If he comes out behind Ghost, or if they're both hit at the same time. You never know. But we have got another battle down for P13. And I don't think Ivor and James can see each other because they're both currently mounting each other. From what I've just seen in the background. But Ivor does have DRS on car cannon. Oh, was very close to hitting the back of him. Is Ivor? No, don't do it, Mike. Oh, he scraped the wall. He's missing a bit of front wing now. That was not smart from the Alfa Romeo driver. Was not smart from him whatsoever. James, is he going to look to go past him? He did hit him in the back, but I said I don't think they can see each other, so I don't think it matters that much for James, although he did look like he was just trying to go for a move down the inside of him, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if these two can actually see each other or not, but the main thing I do know is that either of them does have damage. And MCR has picked himself up yet another 3-second time penalty. As Ghost and Big W make their way into the pits, Heated hasn't. In fact, the top 3 are still out on track at the moment. Adri's built up that gap from 2 seconds to 5 seconds. I think James can see Ivor, which is weird because they were both... Well, it looked like James was going underneath him for a second. As Ivor does smack the wall once again. And all of this does not look like it is helping James one bit. And Ivor makes his way into the pit. So James now has got a bit of a clear run to try and see if he can catch up to Car Cannon. And try and increase any sort of gap that he has. So any of the guys that have got a pit, remember James does have to pit again because he did start on a set of the medium tyres. So he does have to make another pit stop. But we have got this battle still between MCR and Smitsky. Smitsky still just sort of holding a little bit back from MCR, but with the MCR being on the softs and Smitsky being on the mediums, you know, Smitsky's mediums are now going to start coming into play because of MCR's tyres. They're going to start going off massively. Mr. Witter and Heaton have made their way into the pits and Adri still hasn't. Which is weird because Nico's now only 3 seconds behind him. What? Oh. No. Adri has come into the pits. Sorry about that. So Adri has already done his pit stop and stayed out in first, so good job from the Renault driver. Mr. Wooter is 2 seconds behind Nico, and Nico's actually come out in second, but these guys are all on the mediums, whereas Nico's on the hards. Interesting. Interesting. Again, guys, apologies about the stream. You know, I don't understand. Well, I don't get why it's only in 480p maximum. It's just going to have to be like that until, well, just for this stream. I said I don't understand why it's done it once again, but it's just going to have to stay that way. But we're still at this battle between Wikursky and Big W as well. In fact, Wikursky, after his pit stop, has come out ahead of Big W. So Wikursky made that early pit stop, and it's benefited him massively because he can take these hards to the end of the race. And with him only being behind Smitsky, Smitsky's still got a pit. Wikursky is technically in 5th position. It's okay, Jack, we still love you. Oh, I love to, Faz. But Wikursky is actually all over the back of Smitsky. Smitsky's tyres are now starting to go off. Wikursky's 6-lap-old hards. I don't think there's anything that Smitsky's going to be able to do to hold off the Mercedes driver. Wikursky does go very late on the brakes, but gives him more of a run in. As Yellow's in sector 3. Who's that? In fact, James has made his way back into the pits once again. So is James going to try and go on the hards to the end of the race? It does look like he is. But this battle, this free car train for P5 still going on. Smitsky has got to think about pitting relatively shortly. Unless he's going to try and make those mediums stick until he can go on the softs. We're so close to hitting the back of Smitsky. And in fact, there's an even closer one going up just ahead for P2. I think James has had to get out of the way of his rivals because he's just been lapped. So this battle for P2, Nico and Mr. Wooter. Mr. Wooter is all over the back of Nico. He is on the soft compound of tyre as well and can take these to the end. And I think he wants to try and get past ASAP because he looks like he's almost hitting the back of Nico. Here we go. Will we get anything done going in towards the Nouvelle chicane? I don't think Mr. Wooter is close enough. And Nico did cover off the inside, so Nico's still just going to hold for P2 at the moment. These two are, I think, are battling in the championship as well. Let me just have a double check before I get my facts wrong. Nico, Mr. Wooter. Yeah, so these two are actually battling in the championship together, the pair of them. Oh, they're both on 46 points, so whoever comes out on top of these two, well, they're going to be ahead of each other. As Adri puts in the fastest lap. And he's just going to keep on increasing his lead from the guys that are actually battling for P2. There is yellows in Sector 2. I don't know who that is, but these guys may have to be careful if it's anywhere near them. I don't think it is, so this battle for P5 still going on. Wakers still all over the back of Smitsky, and Big W also all over the back of Wakers, not able to get past each other at all. Smitsky is doing a good job of holding these two up, and Wakers just made a little bit of a mistake coming out the final corner, so that's going to allow Big W to have a massive chance on getting a run down on Wakers, trying to go around the outside. They both touch each other and spins. Wakers did not leave enough space for Big W on the outside, and all of that has actually just hurt him big time. And Wakers now doesn't have a wing. Both of these guys side by side in towards the Nouvelle chicane. Nico did allow him the space, but Mr. Wooter did not want to try and go for that move. And Mr. Wooter is still down in third. Unlucky for the Mercedes. Both Mercedes drivers are not benefiting from this whatsoever. But that is... I can't believe Wakers has done that. Did not leave enough space. Has now got no wing. And I think that is race over for the Mercedes driver. He can still probably get a point or two. But it's unlucky from him. Anyway, Mr. Wooter, I think, was looking to try and see if he can go for a move down in towards turn 1 on the Red Bull driver, but he's still going to have to just stay behind him. This is not helping him whatsoever. As there's yellows in Sector 2. Is that Wakers again? I got the feeling it is. I think it is. I think it is. Or is that a Letty? It might have been a Letty, actually, because he was only 6 tenths behind him. And there's... Oh! Has someone gone in the pit? No, they haven't, because that was a crash, wasn't it? I think BW tried to go around the outside of Smitsky. Got squeezed up a bit. And Smitsky's just holding down that P5. He is taking that for his life. As a Letty does retire from the race. Has he crashed, or is he actually just gone into the pits to retire? Stick on board with James because he's actually, in fact, these guys up ahead, they are going to see where he is. I think it's in the pit. It does look like it is in the pit, so here we go. This battle for P2. Will Mr. Wooter go and get the move done? No, he does not. He still stays down in P3. And Nico is doing a good job of defending this, but it does look like Mr. Wooter has got a much better run than what Nico has done. Are they going to go too wide in towards Casino? No, they do not. And Mr. Wooter still holds down in P3. This is looking tight between them. And Mr. Wooter he's very disciplined at the moment, staying behind Nico. I'm surprised he doesn't try to go for a move because Nico's on the harder compound of tyre. Mark just saying if Nico can keep him behind, tyre temps might come into his favour versus Adri. It could do. Certainly could. Mr. Wood is still not opting to go for a move on the Red Bull. It looks like the rest of the guys are making their pit stops right now, other than Smitsky. Smitsky's still the only one that hasn't made his stop yet. Still not able to get a move done. These guys still going at it, and it's just still nothing coming out of it. And same with Big W. So I know this is a very difficult track to overtake at. Probably the hardest one to overtake at. Because at least with other street circuits, you've got quite a long straight. With this, no chance. Only one DRS zone. But I think this is the best chance that Big W is going to get. He is side by side with Smitsky on the outside of towards turn 1. And I think Big W has managed to go around the outside and get that move done on the Renault driver. So that is now Smitsky down into 6th, Big W into 5th. And that was a good move from the McLaren driver. And he's going to just, well, he's going to try and see if he can catch up to Heated. And Mr. Witter up ahead. But with him being on the pad, I don't think that is going to be able to be done. So maybe P5 is the best that Big W is going to be able to do unless one of these guys up ahead do crash. Which is always possible. Because it is Monaco. But Mr. Witter still can't find a way to get past Nico. Is he going to go for it and towards turn 1? No, he does not. He's more disciplined than that and stays behind him. There's two cars that are inside each other. Is that Adri? That is Adri. So I don't think Adri can see Wakursk. And they're both just within inside each other. Bit of a weird one. But they're not actually getting out of the way of blue flags because these guys are battling for position. But they need to. Oh, yeah, no, Adri definitely cannot see him. So I think Adri is just... Yep, he definitely can't see him because they're both mounting each other. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is not looking good. Oh my god. I don't think Dave is liking these. Here we go. Is this where Dave is going to let him by? There was a bit of front wing that has just plopped off. I don't know if that was from Dave or if that was from Wakursk. But as I said, Adri and Wakursk can't see each other. And... I don't know if what's just happened there. That's just how Adri overtakes. Oh wow. Esport game ready. Yep, exactly. It's battle for second is still not going on. It's just still going on. James has just had to heavy brake so he didn't hit the back of Mr. Wuta. James, remember, he is a lapped car. And ironically picks up a 3-second time penalty. In fact, he just... Excuse me, he skids around the corner. Nice. Oh, they're going too wide into the tunnel. Mr. Whitmer's going down the inside and looking to go around the outside of Nouvelle Chicane. Nico not giving that spot up. They both touch a little bit, but that is Mr. Whitmer up into second. What a move from the Mercedes driver going down the inside of the tunnel section. Wow. That was a very good move from the Mercedes driver. I'll probably have to say that or Big W's one around the outside of turn 1. Move of the race so far. So good job from the Mercedes driver and is now already built up basically a second gap to the Red Bull. And he might look to see if he can close up to Adri. All it takes is Adri to make one mistake. But yeah, he's already built up that 1 second gap. Meanwhile, this little battle for P10 between Dave and Ryan. Still a little bit close between the pair of them. I know these two have raced each other quite a lot in the past, both experienced racers with each other. So We'll see who comes out on top of the pair of them. Yellow's in sector 1 and 2. Is that Ibo? No, it's not. Who is that? Is it Nico? Because he's already dropped about 2.5 seconds and Heated's already 4 seconds behind him. I'm sure it was about 10 before. But Ivor and Ibo do swap places, so Ivor now up into 13th, and he is only 1 place away from getting himself a point. James is in the points. He does get himself a point. But with it staying how it is at the moment, Adri will become the championship leader. Heated will move up ahead of MCR. I don't think he moves up ahead of James though. What's that, 12 points? No, he'll only be 3 points behind him. If it's how it stays at the moment, James will be 3 points ahead of Heated. Heated will move himself up into 3rd, and I said Adri will move himself up into the lead of the championship. How many would that be by though? 24... 12 points, I think. Yeah, 12 points up ahead. And in fact, Adri's the one that's got the fastest lap so far, I believe. Let me just check that. Yeah, so Adri is the one with the fastest lap, and that gives him an extra point. So he will be it will be 13 points ahead of him. So that is good going from the Renault driver. But keep an eye on gaps between these guys at the moment. No one's sort of really close to each other. In fact, the closest one is this battle for P8 with Kursk and MCR. Kursk getting that front wing changed. Hell was having a good battle with Big W, but did try to squeeze Big W out, and I don't think there was anything that Big W could do. Looking forward to a few fastest lap splits at the end, looking at these gaps. Yeah, we'll see if any of these guys do opt to try and go for a fastest lap. I mean, Ivory Mike is on the set of the softs. Ryan has just changed his tyres to go on a set of the hards, which is a bit strange. But I think Mark was trying to go for fastest lap and not able to get it. And the two Renaults are actually next to each other. So I think Adri has already lapped Smitsky. Has he gone past him? He has gone past him. So Adri is looking to see if he can lap the person in 6th as well. Meanwhile, I've actually noticed that Smith's gone on a set of the hards, which is a bit strange. I'm shocked he opted for the hards and not try to go for the, like trying to extend the mediums to when he can go for the softs. But here we go. I think the fastest lap merchant is now about to happen. Carl Cannon has already just come out of the pits on a set of the soft tyres. And about to be lapped by Ibo, although Ibo has just made himself come into the pits as well. So the both of them are looking to see if they can go for the fastest lap and beat out Adri's time. Meanwhile, this battle for P7, Smitsky and Wakurski's all over the back of the Renault driver. And Smitsky just maintaining that P7 for now. And I don't think he's going to be happy just sitting behind him on the soft, on a harder compounder tyre, with Wakurski almost going into the back of him. But look at that, Mr. Woot has already pulled out 8-second gap from Nico. Here he goes, Wakurski's going to go for the move. He looks to try and go for the outside, did squeeze himself in there, and I think that's costed him a lot of time. And Smitsky does stay out in 7th, and Ricard's still in 8th. So good defending for the Renault driver. And ironically as well, Mr. Witter is about to lap his teammate, just like Adri has just lapped his teammate. Still very close between each other, and these guys having blue flags now to his teammate. Mr. Witter is going to lose out. Sorry, not Mr. Witter. Because he's going to lose out on quite a bit of time because he's just had to let his teammate go through. I think what Wakasi's going to try and do is stay behind his teammate as close as possible, so then when Smitsky allows him through, it's going to allow Wakasi through, but he doesn't, and Smitsky is still in 7th. Car Cannon has just retired from the session, so that is the second retiree of the session. But here we are. Is this where Wakasi is going to get his move done on the Renault driver, leading up in towards turn 1? He stays behind him for now. Oh, I haven't realised that. Heated. For some reason, he made his way into the pits again, and he's now behind Big W. Why has he done that then? Maybe broke his wing. But these guys also now battling for what is P4. Big W does go very wide at the hairpin. That's allowed Heated to just climb all over the back of the Australian. And with him being on fresh mediums, I think Heated's also wanting to see if he can go for the fastest lap. Mike makes his way into the pits once again on another set of the softs. And Wakursk and Smitsky are both traded places. So Wakursk is now past Smitsky, going in towards turn 1. I think Wakursk managed to go down the inside of the Renault driver and is now up into 7th place. MCR's made his way into the pits once again, so James is now on into 9th. And all of this is just hurting Heated's chances. With him being stuck behind Big W, and James making his way up a bit more, it is hurting his chances. And in fact, Heated picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so I think that is probably that done. Unless he can get past. Mike has retired from the session. Not been a good day for the Welshman. He did join in late, and I know he was on a default setup, so that also doesn't help. Smitsky's already 2.5 seconds behind Wakursk. And Heated, is he going to try and go for a move going up towards the Novelle chicane? Is Big W going to cover the inside of it? No, he doesn't. And he is just going to have to stay behind him for now. These two were battling earlier, and let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. Remember, he had that. Big W did have that spin. And he looked like he just jumped that corner quite a bit there, so I don't know. I don't want to check any of the penalties or anything, but Heated is all over the back of the McLaren driver. But it did look like Big W got a much better exit out of the final corner than what the Toro Rosso did. And he's just going to have to stay behind him for now. Oh, Heated has just smacked the wall. That's definitely more wing gone as well, and that is, yeah, that's definitely giving away his chances here. You can see at the front right, part of it's missing. So I think Heated is just going to have to stay in 5th place for now, unless he does make another pit stop and try to go for the fastest lap. We don't know. But at the moment, actually is on 26. It's just gained himself another 26 points at the moment, and James has got himself 4. So how much does that put him ahead? So I think that only just puts Adri ahead now. 9 points. As we are coming up to the halfway stage of the championship. We're at Monaco today. Next week we're at Russia. Following week after that is Canada. But I think that was Heated's chances of P4 gone. He's maintaining that gap to Big W though. In fact, he's actually catching Big W, even with the wing damage. So what if Big W picked himself up some wing damage as well? I'll see if I can see it on his car. Doesn't look like it. But Heated is staying with that McLaren. As said, you can see the effects of the pad to a wheel on Monaco. Even with wing damage, Heated is still staying with Big W. As MCR is the one that has gotten the fastest lap, so now that gap has depreciated for Adri and James. It's now down to 8 points, if everything stays as how it is. Big W's tyres are starting to go off, so that's just what's keeping that sort of gap there. But I mean, actually, if need be, Nico could probably pit, come out ahead of these guys, and try and go for the fastest lap himself. Which is a little suggestion, because I know Ryan B's gone on the set of the softs. I think he's actually just lapped Divo. If someone else does crash up out ahead as well, I think it'll be a first double points finish for Williams. But that is if someone does end up crashing out other than Ivo. Yeah, but what are you typing in the chat for? Keep racing! It is still staying with Big W. I don't understand how he's still doing it. I mean, I know it's obviously from pad to wheel, but it's like, even with wing damage, you still wouldn't think about it. Ryan B is the one that does take the fastest lap, and he is in the points. Or he's in the point. So he will end up with 2 points if no one else does pick up that fastest lap from him. But Nico is now 22 seconds ahead of Big W and is 21 seconds behind Mr. Wuta. So if I was Nico, I would just pit and just try and go for fastest lap. Because you won't be behind these guys unless you have wing damage, and in that case you will be behind them. But yeah, no, if I was Nico, I would just pit, try and go for fastest lap. Get yourself an extra point. But these two have definitely been having a good drive. Haven't made any mistakes. Even Mr. Woot being very patient behind Nico and has already, well, he's built that gap out 22 seconds. It's unbelievable. They were already battling, what, 10, maybe even 15 laps ago? And it's built up a gap of 22 seconds. So it's good going for the pair of them. As Dave picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, just staying behind this battle for Big W and Heated. I think Heated is actually closer than ever to getting past Big W. And with him having a bit of wing missing, it's going to help his straight line speed. He's still not going to be able to get past the McLaren though. And he's just going to have to stay behind him at the moment. Obviously coming out the corners, Big W is going to be the one that is quicker, but down the straights is where Heated is going to be absolutely rapid. But with Big W being on pad, it's going to be more difficult to make some of the turns compared to what it is on a wheel. And all of this at the moment looks like it is benefiting, well, to be honest, it's actually benefiting Heated massively. But Heated has got a penalty. I don't know if Big W does. I don't want to check the penalties because I want to keep it so it's like a little surprise at the end. But I don't think Big W does have a penalty. And it looks like we might be seeing a battle between 9th and 10th in a minute. The two that are battling within the championship, who haven't been so lucky this race. MCR is on a default setup, but James isn't. But he's on 21 lap old hards with MCR on 7 lap old mediums. And he's all over he's coming up to the back of him. And he's opting to get a move done on the Haas driver. But is Adri actually close to maybe coming up to lap any of these guys? I think he's lapped Ghost. He hasn't lapped any of these guys 5th and 4th yet. And it doesn't look like he'll be close enough to lapping them at all. I think he's still about 50 seconds. He's about, what, 20 seconds behind them. Maybe even 25. So unless one of them makes a huge mistake. Like that, that's Heated into the wall. At the end, or at the final corner. I'm so sorry, Heated. I've just completely jinxed you. Giving you a commentator's curse. Oh my god. Nah, if you are Heated, you have to just pit and just go for the fastest lap. There's without a doubt, there's virtual safety car in as well. In fact, this has benefited Mr. Wooten massively because he's only 5 seconds behind Adri. And in fact, he comes into the pits because he doesn't think he'll be able to get past him quick enough. So he's going to come into the pits, go on the softs, and go for the fastest lap. Will any of these guys up ahead, will they try and go for the fastest lap? Nico isn't going to be anywhere near when Mr. Wooten comes out of the pits. So, Adri, unless he makes a huge mistake, he's definitely won this race. But is Mr. Wooten going to be the one that comes out with the fastest lap? Heated picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Where is Heated in relation to Adri? Adri's coming through the tunnel now. Heated has exited the Nouvelle chicane, coming up to the swimming pool chicane. Okay. Heated has to. He's got to pit. There's no way he doesn't pit. There we go. So Heated coming into the pits. I think Adri will lap him. Adri is basically going to lap everyone up from the bottom to 5th. Oh, as yellows is sector 2, who might that be? Hopefully it isn't one of the top runners. Okay, Smitsky doesn't know he's got any wing damage. MCR maybe? Oh, MCR's actually got past James, so it's back down to 9 seconds. 9 points, sorry, 8 points. No, 9 points, sorry. If Adri gets the fastest lap though, it brings that back up. But is Adri going to pit? No, he doesn't. He does stay out. But Mr. Wooter is going for that fastest lap. We'll stay on board with him because I get a feeling that he might. We'll keep on board with him and just take you around a lap of Monaco. Let's see, is that the fastest lap? No. Oh, it was. I was going to say. What about Heated? Because I know he's in the process of just doing the fastest lap. He has been lapped by Adri. So Adri has lapped basically everyone from... Oh, Adri! Ooh. Is he going to let Heated go? No, Heated's going to have to just stay behind him. And with that, I don't think Heated's going to get the fastest lap point, but it has been this man who has... He's basically done everything right. He's stayed in first throughout the entire race. Even after the pit stop stage, he's still stayed in first. And has done absolute bits to stay out ahead. In fact, I think Adri did make a bit of a mistake, unless that was Mr. Wooter being rapid. But that is Adri, who does win the Monaco Grand Prix for Division 3. Mr. Wooter finishing in P2 with the fastest lap. Heated did have an opportunity to go for another lap, but Adri did let him through. So, wow. Ghost, I think that's his highest finishing position, P6. Good job to him. Williams did need some points, so that was a very good effort to him. Nico did finish in P3. BW looking like he is going to finish in P4. So good job to the McLaren driver, despite being spun at the beginning. Now, Heated, will he get this fastest lap off of Mr. Wooter? He is going to be the final one across the line. But will he get this fastest lap? In fact, yeah, Dave's passed the line. So, Heated, will he get this fastest lap? Will he manage to swap that off Mr. Wooter? He has finished 5th. We know that for sure. But does he keep that fastest lap? Or does he get the fastest lap, sorry? Here we go. Heated up to the line. No, he doesn't. So, Mr. Wooter is the one that did get the fastest lap. Good job to him. In fact, Ibo is the only one that hasn't passed yet, as he's just weaving across the line, and that's him done. So only 5 people managed to do 39 laps of Monaco. 2 people retired. The other 9, the other 9 only managing to complete 38 laps, but that was still a good race nonetheless. And congrats to the man on the top step of this podium. Adri, as I said, he is on form. Absolutely on form. And now he's your championship leader. So Adri Congratulations to him. Mr. Wooter, where's he now in the championship? That gives him 18 points. He's definitely ahead of Nico. But with 18 points, 64, that puts him... Does that put him ahead of Eduk? Because Eduk's currently in 5th. In fact, yeah. That puts Mr. Wooter P5 in the championship. So there you go. That's your final classification. Adri winning the Monaco Grand Prix with no penalties as well. Mr. Wooter in 2nd with Nico in 3rd, Big W 4th, Heated 5th, Ghost Recon in 6th, Wachowski in 7th, Smitsky in 8th, MTR in 9th, James in 10th, Dave in 11th with Ryan, Ryan in 12th, Ibo in 13th, and your non-finishers were either Bryn Mike, Car Cannon, and Aledi. I thought there was only 9. There was another 9 finishers, but there weren't. There were 8. Absolute. Well, that was just complete masterclass from Madri. But once again, guys, apologies about the stream. 1, starting late, and 2, about the quality. I hope you guys have enjoyed of what you could see. We will catch you guys next week for the Russian Grand Prix for Division 3. Division 1 is currently going on at the moment. James is always doing a brilliant job of commentating on Division 1. And Division 2 will be starting in about 5 to 10 minutes time. So look out for that. In fact, there is my invite for it. So make sure you look out for that. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next week for the Russian Grand Prix.